Hi guys, Togo here with a new video, and this video is a ultimate BM Hunter PvP guide video for the War Within. And this guide is going to talk about a lot of subjects that are very important for BM Hunter in my opinion. We're going to talk about the stats, we're going to talk about the potential embellishments that you can go for, although I'm still testing. You can still go for those embellishments. I'm going to talk about the tier set, if it's worth to take or not. I'm going to talk about, obviously, the build that I'm going for. There's not a lot of choices right now, but those choices are going to open up in the mid-season with the changes that we are going to get on the class tree, on the spec tree. I'm going to talk about the hero towns, which one you should go for, and I'm going to talk about the builds, comps that you can play, PvP towns where you have to change a few things here and there. And we're going to talk about soul shuffle and solo QRBG. What is your objectives to go for in solo QRBGs, and also what do you need to expect. We're going to talk about a rotation, which is again not very complicated, but you still have some nuances. A burst rotation, so what is your ultimate burst that you can actually apply to the enemy. And we're going to talk about the macros and tips and tricks. Now, big spoiler, BM Hunter is currently not really great, but that will come with a patch that is going to come out tomorrow. So this video is going to come out before the changes in EU. I think in NA it will be coming out tonight. It will help, so we get more damage on kill shot, more damage on our bob shot, more damage on our kill command, and it is going to help us to deal more damage overall. Cobra shot, I didn't say it because right now it is not relevant. I actually never press it, but in the mid-season anniversary patch, I think Cobra shot will be a bit more important, but right now it is not the case. But yeah, let's talk about BM Hunter. So right now I think BM Hunter is in a weird spot, but it will become way stronger further down the line. I think in season 2 we are going to have a big power spike, and it's going to be very strong. But in season 1, right now at the start, it is not glorious. And if you are going to want to compete as a BM Hunter and you really want to stomp enemies, I think MM Hunter is way better at that. But you still have some satisfying things, and you can actually win games. So, stats, what am I going to play? Right now I don't have the 1600 token yet because I am not 1600 yet. I still need to play way more, but I am positive in soul shuffle, positive in 2s, and I'm positive in solo RPGs, way positive actually. I'm in a super duper win rate, like a win streak. I actually just did a draw, but overall I did only wins, so it's also very cool. But I'm going to talk about it a bit further online after the builds. The pieces I'm going for right now is very simple. So we are going with the ring. So we did make the Algari competitive signet, which is haste mastery, and I did haste mastery chest as well. And it leaves me with one forge heraldry, which I'm going to use it a bit further down the line with the conquest that you're going to get at one point. But why did I make haste mastery? Because I think versatility is quite nice, but having more haste makes us a lot easier to be able to do bob shots and to maintain the frenzy stack. So you have 11 seconds recharge. I think it's 10 seconds in PvP once I'm in a PvP situation, and my stacks are for 10 seconds. So it is way easier for me to maintain it. I never really lose the stacks, except if I'm getting CC'd at the wrong time, or if I prioritize a CC, for example, instead of pressing bob shot. Or, for example, they are cleaved up and I want to CC someone and I don't want to break the CC with a stomp. I'm not going to press bob shot, but I'm going to win the game because of that, for example. And mastery, I do like it because it does augment the damage of your pets. Although right now the stats are quite low, it is helping us for a lot. This is really feeling great. I really like having haste and mastery. As you may see also on my enhancement shaman video and on my arms warrior video, I value versatility way less than some people do. I think tankiness is cool, because that is giving you like a 5% increase in tankiness if you're going versatility, but the damage that you're going to get by going haste or mastery is invaluable. You're not going to get that with verse. Verse is a defensive stat, and you should look that way. And I think BM Hunter currently, as MM Hunter, are very tanky, and they are close to unkillable if you have like all CDs. You start dying once you have depleted all your CDs pretty much. So the priority is still for me haste. Haste is still king. That won't change. And then I would say mastery, versatility, depending on how big you want to have verse being strong or mastery being strong. Crit is something you don't want to build, so if you can replace crit, just do it ASAP. Embellishments, I'm testing your damaging spells and abilities have a chance to deal 91. So that's the elemental one. But I don't have a gem right now, so it doesn't work. But you need to have a gem first. So I'm like trying to get it, but I'm a bit broke right now because I like maintain like a lot of characters, so it's very hard to get like all the characters sucking that up. But what you want gem wise is the either the snare, but again you're not really snared too much, and you're going to do a lot of damage in general. So what I would recommend is go for the 5% less damage taken whenever you're going to get CC'd, which is going to cement again the fact that you're going to be quite tanky in general, especially if you're orc. You get like a good passive towards your defensives whenever you're going to get stunned. You have hardiness, so you have duration of stuns effect reduced by an additional 20%. I think it's nerfed in PvP, it's 10% in PvP, but it's still going to help you a lot by surviving those little seconds that you're going to get CC'd, but also getting out of CC pretty quickly. So I do like that. Yeah, so those are the stats I'm going for. For the 4 set, truth be told, I don't know if it's really worth it. Bar of shot further increases your press attack speed by 5%, which I'm not really that like big about, but also the 4 set itself, it is going to give you a chance on proc to get like a 5% increased damage on towards all your pets, which can help, and it will depend on the uptime. It could be a very good one, but the issue is you do lose a lot of stats. Like for example, your hands is first crit is useless. Critical strike chance and haste on your chest. So you have already 2 pieces that are very, very doomed. Then you have like haste crit, so you're going to lose versatility and you're going to get a bit of haste, which is quite nice, but you're going to get crit, which is just not really something you want to go for, especially as BM. You have shoulders, which are mastery verse, which is okay at best, and then you have your head, which is haste mastery, which I think is probably the first piece I'm going to get once I'm like 1600. So once I have 1600, I'm going to buy I'm going to get the token, which is the head haste mastery, which is like an instant buy pretty much, but I'm going to get the token for it, which is going to be very soon. I think like in 1 or 2 social shuffles I got it. I will get it. So it's going to be quite nice, or with solo queue RPGs, because I'm keep on winning, so it's going to be quite easy to get it as well. And I think the shoulders are going to be easy to take as well, so those 2 pieces, it's okay, so I can still convert this if I want to and get the head, so I have the 2 piece, but I'm not really big on like legs, hands and chest. If I have to choose, if you really want to do a 4 set, which I understand, because maybe the stats are very good, because maybe the 10% will be good enough, like the 5% will be good enough, so you would want to get the 4 set. So what I would do is legs and hands. I would have chest, like I made already, haste mastery, for example. You will lose a lot of versatility, so that's why I'm saying like, if you really plan to go 4 set, maybe it's better to not go for haste mastery chest like me, but I don't really plan to go 4 set. I'll plan to do 2 set, that's for sure. The only reason why I would go for 4 set is probably for marksmanship hunter or for survival hunter, which are going to help you do a bit more throughput. But again, I do like to have like raw stats at the season 1. And I think the tier set is not that massive for BM Hunter to actually go for it, because the damage loss on all pets is going to be felt on the amount of mastery you're going to lose by going the 4 set, right? The mastery is like purely about damage done by your pets, and this is going to augment the damage done by all your pets, But the issue is you're going to do 5% more, but maybe you're going to lose 5% mastery or 5% haste or whatever, and that is not going to help you at the end. Like, this is a proc while you could have like that amount of damage at all times. So it's something I'm thinking about. For now, I'm only going to go for 2 set because it's very easy to get, but that's it. Now let's talk about builds. So I'm going to surprise a lot of people, but talents are going to be Dark Ranger, with the class tree being like very flexible depending on who you're facing, and the spec tree being like very static. That's for sure. Right now, at least, it's very static. So the class tree, what is movable? Wilderness medicine is not really something that I take every single time. It really depends on who you're facing. You could go Kodo Tranquilizer, depending if you are like doing in a cleave and you want to remove as many magical effects as possible, or you could also go for Trailblazer, for example, in RPGs. Soul RPGs is quite nice, or you could go for Quick Load, which is also helping a lot with survivability if they're going for you, which I found way better with Bursting Shot. But again, Bursting Shot, Scatter Shot, it will depend on who you're facing, right? I may say that I really love Bursting Shot, but Scatter Shot really saves me a lot of time, like being trained, right? Like getting that in cap at the right time could actually save you, especially if you're doing it while they're bursting, then they're just going to mold. Or for example, like a windwalker doing Fist of Fury, just Scatter Shot it and you're fine, for example, right? Trailblazer is like a solo RPG kind of thing. Like, I'm not really taking it in arenas. And that's pretty much it. You could go also Scrappy, but I don't really need Binding Shot to come back soon. And I think Intimidation being a 1-minute CD, you could reduce it to maybe 10 or like 15 seconds less, maybe a bit more, but I rarely need it because I already have that double stun. I have my Binding Shot and I have my Intimidation, which again, I don't want to DR for DRing. I want to be stunning with a purpose of doing a CC or to stop a cast or being very annoying or try to do like a kill potential on a target. So those are like the choices that you can have. What is new with BM Hunter compared to DF like Dragonflight is that you have a second charge of Survival of the Fittest. You have also reduce CD on Survival of the Fittest by 30 seconds. So again, it's a 1.5 minute CD. You have 2 charges, which is big, and you already are very tanky, so this is going to help you as well. Emergency Solve, for example, is new. We have Feign Death and Aspect of the Turtle, removing poisons and diseases effects from you. This is useful versus Unholy DKs versus Shadow Priest, for example, if they're doing Devouring Plague. Just Feign Death and you will remove the Devouring Plague, which is really, really big because it actually reduces the damage that they're going to do, and Mastery is big for Shadow Priest. Although they're not running Mastery, it still works like that. So again, you want to remove those dots that you're going to get on you, for example. So it will always going to be helpful. That's pretty much it. On the spec tree, I think I made a choice that is probably just a choice. You could like change whatever you want. For example, Thrill of the Hunt gives you only 6% crit, which is quite nice. Again, critting is always cool. But I found like Murder of Crows, having it extra is very, very cool, and having Basilisk Scholar as well, because of having like an extra dot will enable to do more damage. So you're going to feel whenever you're going to burst that if you're getting a Murder of Crows as well, you're going to be able to deal a lot more damage as well. Then you have Master's Call, which is always going to be cool to play around because you have a lot of Dire Beasts, and those Dire Beasts are also doing more damage as well because you are taking Dire Frenzy and you have Dire Command. So at one point you will get like a lot of pets out, and it will deal a lot of damage if you're getting Hattie, and if you're getting Fenrir, you're going to get a lot of haste and also a bleed, which is going to function with Basilisk Collar as well, especially if you're going for Bloodshed. You're going to deal a lot more damage by itself. So you have a real big go every minute, and every 2 minutes you have your biggest go with Call of the Wild. And you can combine with Bishop Wrath, Call of the Wild, and Bloodshed. At one point, you're going to shred people. The basis of BM Hunter is that you need to swap targets. You cannot really turn on one target. You need to bob shot multiple targets, and at one point you will see, okay, this one has no defensives, I'm going to go for him, and then he pops a defensive. You're going to swap directly to someone else and do a lot of damage on someone else. And also you have to remember if your pets are going to be CC'd or not, so you are aware of using your freedom, for example, Master Skull, or if you're using your heal to dispel like magic effects, like for example roots can help as well. And in general, this build is going to give you the most DPS in general. Why am I not going for Piercing Fangs? First and foremost, you need to spend like at least one extra talent to get Brutal Companion, or 2 talents if you're going for Scent of Blood. So it's very hard to get Piercing Fangs, and it is nerfed in PvP. I think it's 21% in PvP, which is cool, but it's like not that big. You're going to lose way more by going that. Like, what can you lose effectively to get Piercing Fangs? Well, you could lose Murder of Crows, you could lose Dire Frenzy, and even then you can go beyond. So you have to make a choice. So I like Dire Frenzy, and you will have to go Brutal Companion, and then you have to remove one of those talents. And this talent is a pure 30% increase damage from your pet, but also 20% increase damage on your kill command, and this is also going to improve your damage from Basilisk Collar. So I really like Venomous Bite, and if you're removing, let's say, this one, Bloody Frenzy, Stomp is doing insane amount of damage whenever you're going to do Call of the Wild. Like, it does it at 30k, but like times 6, for example. So every time you're going to like call a pet out from your Call of the Wild, they are all going to Stomp. And at one point, it is very hard to heal. So this go is very high. And I don't really like Brutal Companion because it's not that effective as well. I also found like Scent of Blood not that interesting because I actually don't have problems on Bob Shot as well. And Kill Cobra, right now Cobra Shot is not useful, but it will become useful next patch. But right now I do prefer just Murder of Crows and just keep this basic. Again, if you really want to, you could just remove Bloody Frenzy, why not? But I found that this build is working the best for me. You have more damage with your pets, you have more damage with your Dire Frenzies, your Dire Beast. You have like good bleed damage, but also good swap damage because you have your Stomp doing damage, you have your Barb Shot doing damage, you have your Kill Command doing damage, and if someone is low, your Kill Command is actually going to hurt. Is it going to be like the best DPS spec out there? No, unfortunately BM Hunter is not really doing BM Hunter things, but that will change with the current patch that is going to get live tomorrow. And in the mid-season, on the anniversary patch, we're going to get a lot of changes that are going to help us to deal the damage that is needed to be scary. Now, let's talk about the hero talents. Why Dark Ranger and why not Pack Leader? Big spoiler, I think Dark Ranger right now just does great damage, but it will be reworked in the mid-season, so it's not going to be the same at all. I'm going to make a video about that once we are there. But right now Dark Ranger is the better go because we have Black Arrow, which is again giving you an extra dot as well. But so it gives you 10% more damage as well. But it also summons a Dark Hound, which is dealing a lot of damage. Like I can show you one of the fights that I have. Dark Hound is literally top 1% of my damage. It is 16%. This is not bugged, by the way. It just is how it is. 16% just based on my Dark Hound. It does shadow damage. For some reason it's written physical, but it's shadow damage. Your Black Arrow itself does 8% of my damage. You have Withering Fire, which is also like a 1.5% damage. So you have actually like a lot of extra damage from just playing Dark Ranger. You also get like a free kill shot, which is not doing too much damage right now, but it will do a bit more damage tomorrow. For EU, and you see like kill command is only like 6.5% here, 7% here, so it's only like 13%. So Dark Hound itself is like kind of the reason why I go Dark Ranger, but also your Black Arrow, and in general it's going to like give you a lot of damage that is like surprising. Like once you have like all your pets out and you have Call of the Wild and you have Bestial Wrath and you have Bloodshed and your Dark Hound is out, then you're going to like literally shred people. So I really like that like gameplay right now. And what I like about Dark Ranger is probably the most busted talent out there. It is smoke screen. So whenever you're going to acceleration, it is going to grant you 3 seconds of survival of the fittest, and it is full value survival of the fittest, so it's 30%. And also survival of the fittest activates acceleration at 50% effectiveness, but it gives you like a full heal towards the pet. So if you're going to use survival of the fittest, boom, it heals 3 million, so which is literally full heal, and it heals you also for quite a lot. So I didn't see, so it did heal 650k, which is really cool. And whenever you're going to use your acceleration, boom, you're going to get like a 30% survival of the fittest. So it's always going to be handy to use your defensives, and they come very soon as well. So this talent has been buffed by a lot, like natural mending. Every 10 focus you spend, and you're using a lot of focus, the remaining cooldown on acceleration is going to be reduced by 1 second. You also get every single time a additional heal from the rejuvenating winds. For example, if I'm using like survival of the fittest, boom, I get like a big heal, 32k every second. Again, it's a lot. Like this is going to help you survive a lot of damage, and that's why a lot of people are complaining about the survivability of a BM hunter. For example, right now on this game, I was not really the target either. I think I was a bit of the target, but not the real target, and I actually healed for 4 million. The overheal, don't think too much about it. It is purely my pets, but I did 4 million on myself, which is massive for just a BM hunter, right? And then rejuvenating wind, which is like the hot, I did 1 million. And again, it was not really like a game where I had to pop every single defensive every single time. So I might even just only pop like 2 defensives to just get this. So it's really cool. Overall, I think Dark Ranger is the better one, and you're going to most likely see Dark Ranger next patch as well. With the anniversary patch, you're going to see that it is going to be the better hero talent as well, as long as pack clear is staying how it is. Like this is like too strong. Like barb shot and kill command dealing like 20% increased damage for free, pretty much. Every time it resets, it gains 15 focus, which is very much like something you want to have as a BM hunter. And then whenever you're using Call of the Wild, it is going to improve your damage on Black Arrow, which is also always welcome. So that's pretty much it. Why not Pack Leader? Because it does damage, but it's all physical first and foremost. So it is reducing like in PvP, but also reduced by armor type. And it's pretty underwhelming. Like Kill the Herd doesn't do too much damage. You're not doing a lot of bleed damage anyways, so this talent is kind of useless. Furious Assault is cool, but it resets the cooldown of Barb Shot. It does more damage, but you know that you're going to reapply Barb Shot every single time as well, and sometimes you're going to see it pop, you're going to use it, and then you have to use another charge, and you're going to override the good Barb Shot by your a bit weakened Barb Shot, and then it feels a bad moment. So I think it should be on something else, maybe on like Cobra Shot. That would be interesting, but right now it is just not the case. Frenzy Tier doesn't do too much damage as well. Wild attacks, Pack Assault, it's all like things that are not that great. The only thing that is good is then recovery, in my opinion. But even then, if I have to like put this together with Smokescreen, I do feel like Smokescreen is the better one. Like I don't care about a heal that I will get whenever I'm going to use Turtle, right? The only heal that I really find cool is like, let's say, Survival of the Fittest, but even then it doesn't go like it is not stronger than Smokescreen. That's what I'm telling. So right now I'm very happy with how Dark Ranger is. But I guess if you're like below 50%, you're going to get an extra duration by 1 second. So you're going to get like 25% of maximum health instead of like 20%. So there is still that, but I'm like, again, Smokescreen is just better for survivability, especially in Soul Shuffle. PvP talents really quickly. There's not a lot of things to discuss. Kindred Beast is pretty much like a go-to. You could get like a bloodlust pet if you want to, and then you are able to use it for solo queue RPGs. Personally, I don't use the bloodlust pet because I prefer to have freedom. I prefer to have a mass effect. I don't want to have to choose. Yes, you could use it and then swap pets, but I don't really care about it as well. So right now, Kindred Beast is the way to go. For me, survival tactics is again still the best like PvP talent out there, because you want to reduce damage taken by 90% for 3 seconds, which is the biggest damage reduction you can have, except like an ice block, for example, which reduces like all damage because you're immune, if you know what I mean. So I really like survival tactics, and I have chimeral sting, which is like very much needed if you want to land skills. But if you want to play Diamond Eyes, you can always remove Kindred Beast or Chimeral Sting to get Diamond Eyes. Or if you're not the target, you don't care about survival tactics, you can always remove that and go for Diamond Eyes as well. It's very situational, and the Beast Within is cool. It was used also for Demonology Warlock, so if you're playing with a Demonology Warlock, you can increase all attack speed by all pets. That's quite cool, but I think it's like the effect is not strong enough to justify the PvP talents. Basilisk is okay, but it's a 2-minute CD, unfortunately, and it is really slow. So if you're like getting kited or like the guy's running away, it's not going to get hit. Hawk does no damage. Unfortunately, Interlope is interesting if you're playing with the misdirection talent. If you're facing, like, let's say a frost mage or a warlock or whatever, you could redirect a spellcast, which can always help you to survive. But the pets are dying very quickly, so like especially right now with the HP pools being very low, I do feel like Interlope is not really the way to go for me right now. Hunting pack, it's cool, but it's not like good enough for me to take it. And Wild Kingdom, I frankly never use it, so I have no opinion about it. Alright, so comp-wise, 2v2, you want to play with a healer, ideally a resto druid or a holy priest or a disc priest, because you can then have your trap into a fear, or a fear into a trap, or a stun into a trap, into a fear. So you have big CC chains that you could have, and that's the same for druid. Like druid with cyclone is one of the best combinations out there. 2v2 is not like the greatest bracket for BM Hunter right now, because your damage is quite low. And you are dependent on switches, and you're very much tied to damage for 2v2 if you want to score kills. If you're like CCing perfectly, but your damage is really lacking, the CC is going to be just sat, and they're going to be safe. So I guess it will be better once we have the buffs. But right now, 2v2, it's not like the heydays of Dragonflight or Shadowlands, for example. 3v3, I like to play KFC. So with a warrior, I like to play with a windwalker as well. You could play with a shaman, basically, if they're very good with an enhancement shaman, it can be very fun. You could play with an affliction warlock, and you don't care about trap, and just like try to overwhelm with damage. But at the moment, I think with BM Hunter, the best comp is with a plate or a very big like melee, for example, Windwalker, or a warrior like Fury Warrior, or you could also play Cupid with a Retribution Paladin, but that comp is not that good at the moment because of Retribution Paladin having a lot of like hidden bugs, which once it's fixed, it might be like a very good spec. So those are like the comps I would go. Solo Shuffle, what do you need to expect? Well, it is not rare to be top damage, but it's also not rare to be like the lowest damage of the bunch. It will always depend on who you're facing and if you're capable to do damage on multiple targets. You see, for example, I'm not tunneling only the priest. I sometimes switch on to the MM, and sometimes I do switch on the restoration shaman. You have to choose your targets wisely, and try to remember that your pets being rooted means that you are doing no damage. So you have to use your freedom sometimes just for your pets, which then becomes like very annoying to like be able to freedom yourself whenever you have to. But I prefer to freedom my pets generally, because I will like the damage if that happens, especially versus frost mages, where you are normally a counter to a frost mage. But a frost mage just rooting your pets and keep on rooting your pets, that can just be a very big cause of you not able to like down a frost mage in open world PvP or in 2v2 or in 3v3 or even solo queue RPGs, for example. Solo queue RPGs, like I said, like right now I'm pushing in solo shuffle, I'm pushing in solo queue RPGs, I'm pushing in 2v2. In solo queue RPGs, I have like 7 wins and only 1 draw. I don't know if I can show you with reflex though. I don't know if it can show you the matches I did on solo queue RPG. I think it doesn't. I wish it did, but I think it doesn't. Maybe in casuals. No, it doesn't show. Ah, here I did, but it doesn't show. Like it doesn't show if it's a draw, but it was a draw. Like 12 minutes, you see, and no one really won, unfortunately. It was nearly a win, but it's a draw, and I'm keeping like winning solo queue RPGs. I don't know why or what. I don't know what I'm doing good, but it does feel like I'm very good at defending bases. I'm not really good at stealing bases though, because my CC is like not really optimal. Like freezing trap is like something that you can prevent, or it's very hard to land one in a 1v1 whenever there are a lot of pets. And especially if you're like facing like the wrong specs, they could just like, for example, like first of all, they can trinket it. That's the only thing that they need to trinket if they want to like save their base. And in general, you don't kill enemies fast enough to be relevant in like a 1v1 cap node kind of deal. But in flag maps, I feel like I have the damage and I have the annoying parts where I can actually win games because of that. And I would say in like Gilneas, especially, you're a very good defender though. So defending lighthouse or mines is your job most likely. In Kotmugu though, I detest this map because my pets have to path away and around the pits, and you will remark like if you're a BM hunter and you played Kotmugu, you need to understand that map is not made for you. If like someone is like jumping around like inside and out of the pit, your pets is going to literally have to walk around every single time, and you will feel like your damage is not there because literally your pets are not there as well. So I either decide to be staying in the pit and always fight the ones that are in the pit, or I stay on the outskirts to actually push them inside of the pits and try to like force them to be inside of the pit. But that's it. You're also a very terrible orb taker as well, because you're kind of squishy as well. So like in social you're not squishy, but in solo RPGs you are, because you depend on your CDs way more, and it's very hard to be meaningful over a course of 12 minutes, for example. But I do feel like you have some damage depending on the maps. Like Kotmugu, for example, is terrible for you. I think the card map where the mines, I don't even know, the silver shard mines, is quite cool for BM hunters. I think Twin Peaks and Morrison Gulch are fine. Arati Basin is okay, depends. It's really like a fight between trying to rotate as soon as possible. And I think Deepwood Gorge is like one of the better maps for BM Hunter, but it's very tough. Like it depends on the allies you have and the enemies you're facing. So overall, better than I expected for solo queue RPGs, but I think most of the games that I played as BM Hunter, I could have played MM and probably would be easier for me to win. So that's how I feel. Now let's talk about rotation. First and foremost, I have a weak aura. Excuse me. I have a weak aura, which is Bob Shot, the frenzy tracker. It is the same as in Dragonflight. So pretty much whenever I have like a frenzy tracker, frenzy stack, it will be written here, and it will give me noise whenever I'm like dropping a stack. So I try to keep it up, and it's the easiest way for me to see whenever it's going to be effective. I will link it in the comments. So I will write a comment and then I will link the weak aura beneath it. So if you want to take it, you can always copy paste it, and you're fine by pressing import and paste the code here. You're going to have the same one. So rotation wise, it's the same, right? So let's say this is like target 1, target 2, and 3. What you want to do is pretty much like try to face 1, kill command, do another bob shot here. So you have 2 stacks, and what you can do is then do a dark beast into like a black arrow into another bob shot. You have 3 stacks, and now you do a lot of damage just based around those spells. Now the issue is right now it's not like damage that you're going to deal a lot of like pressure. This is like really not that great. It is like around 300k DPS, which is fine. But what is going to dictate you killing a target is basically having the healer stunned, and then you can just like try to do a go with bloodshed into bestial wrath, into call of the wild, into reapply your bob shot, black arrow, and then kill command spam. And do a bob shot wherever you can. Try to do even multiple bob shot, for example, bob shot here, kill command here, and try to swap whatever you want. For example, here he has bob CD, boom, swap, and let's go fight this guy for a bit. And then you see the resto shaman, for example, here, do a bob shot here to have like multiple damage here, like spread up. So you're playing like a affliction warlock pretty much, but it helps. And whenever you have bob shot like bestial wrath, just pop it again. Don't wait for bloodshed, and you're fine. Then you have your dark beast, and you can pretty much like jump like me. Like again, you're very comfortable. And whenever you see like you have a CC potential, you can always do like binding shot into a trap, like explosive trap, so they're going to be pushed. And then you can just trap here, for example, or like sting, so he's going to be CC'd in 1, 2, boom, he's CC'd. You're going to stun him, boom, and then you're going to stand here, trap him, and then you're going to then continue the onslaught on those targets. So it's pretty easy, to be fair, to deal damage. There are more complicated like specs, but I think even the simplest spec like BM Hunter has some nuances. Like for example, you have to spread your bob shot to deal the most damage possible. For example, here I have 12% damage on my bob shot. If I didn't spread it, it would be a lot lower. It would be around the 7%. I have a lot of damage on your Dark Hound, on your Hattie, on your Beasts. Again, you need to press those CDs. Every time you're going to press Dark Beast, it is going to count towards your Hunt Master's Call, which is always going to be a great damage occasions for the spec that you're playing. What else can I describe? Again, rules very important. Trying to scatter shot the off DPS is always going to be very cool. Having your explosive trap, for example, if you know that the Fury Warrior is going to charge, is going to cuck him back to where they are. Kill shot is not a priority right now until we have like Black Arrow being replaced by kill shot from the mid-season patch that we're going to get. Right now it is not a priority. Bob shot is your priority, kill command is your priority, Dark Beast every 20 seconds just press it, Black Arrow every 30 seconds just press it, Bloodshed every minute you need to do a go, so you need to press it and you're going to be good to go. So again, to do the go, for example, very quick, you have a bob shot here, just wait a bit, do another bob shot here, and you're going to wait until you have 3 stacks. So I'm going to call my Dark Beast, my Black Arrow, I'm going to do a bob shot into bloodshed, into bestial wrath, into call the wild, and you're going to deal a lot of damage. Boom, I'm going to trap the healer, he's trapped, I'm going to stun the healer, and I'm going to then do a camera sting. Again, I didn't do a focus macro here, so it's a bit like scuffed, but in general try to play with a focus macro to make it a lot easier for you guys. This is like my blessed weapons, which is always going to be nice to have. If you have like the embellishment, which I'm testing, but I'm like again not convinced. I don't think it's that good in general. So yeah, that is pretty much like the go. It's not like very complicated. Just pop your CDs whenever you have to. You can even just do a first bestial wrath at the start of the round. For example, you see I have 3 stacks, boom, bestial wrath, and you're going to do a mini go with your Dark Beast, for example, boom, bob shot, kill command, and then you're going to then do this. And then you can do another go with like your bait bloodshed, and you're good to go pretty much. Huh? So those are the things I would like then think about if I want to deal damage. In general, I feel like I'm dealing a lot of damage. It just is just not the type of damage that you are going to do in Dragonflight. Like now you have to spread and to swap targets actively if you want to score a kill. Like you cannot now just go no brain, zug one target. It is not going to happen for you. You have to be very smart. And sometimes even if your friend is not focusing that one target, you have to then do a swap and maybe create that kill potential by doing the damage on something else. For example, if you see a Shadow Priest next to you and your ally is on the doing a swap on the Shadow Priest can help you to deal like significant damage to force the healer to make a decision between healing the SP or the for example. So that is pretty much the rotation. Macros wise, I don't have too many on this account. On my not on this account, but I mean on this character. But in general, focus macros. I will link in the description the ones I have on the second character. I have Call of the Wild, Blood Fury, and Bestial Wrath on one macro. Again, that's pretty much like just press Shift A and you will pop everything. And use 14 if you're playing the badge. I'm playing the insignia. But you really want to be able to have an intimidation focus and a cameral sting focus as well, which I'm going to create on this character very quickly. But in general, macros, it's a pretty simple spec. You could have a macro for like party 1, party 2 for Roar of Sacrifice, for example. But often I will be using on myself. And what else? I would say you could pretty much play how BM Hunter is just like laid out. It's not very complicated, right? A lot of things are just on GCD. For example, I think Call of the Wild was not on GCD. Now it is on GCD, so that macro is like a bit useless even for Call of the Wild. But still, if you want to have Blood Fury and you have your Trinket, for example, it can help you to deal more damage just by pressing one button, which can be useful. Tips and tricks: try to kite efficiently. Don't do disengage for nothing. Try to use disengage because you got slowed or rooted. Try to use your aspect of the cheetah with freedom, because if you're doing aspect of the cheetah and you get rooted or snared, then you're feeling bad, which is unfortunate, but it is just how it is. Try to use your main pet very often, especially if you have like the dispel one. It's very useful because again, a pet that is rooted is a pet that is very useless. Having your root tower trap is very interesting, but what you could do is, for example, root the Fury, and he's going to get frustrated, he's going to charge. So if you have like the explosive shot next to you, boom, he's going to go back into the snare, which is going to be quite nice because it is a zone that is going to keep people snared, which is always going to be cool. Binding shot is always interesting, and you could actually combine it with high explosive trap to push them away to get them stunned. Intimidation is something I'm using on the healer most likely if I'm not the target. But if I feel like the main target is never getting CC'd, I will just then use intimidation to get it on my kill target. So those are pretty much the tips and tricks. I would say feign death as much as you can because it's 30-second CD. You want to have uptime on your defensive, which is tactical survival tactics. And again, camera string, try to use it only on something that casts spells. It's quite useless to use it, for example, on an hunter or let's say a fury warrior. The slow is quite nice, but again, it's not that good. It's preferable to use it on someone that is going to get silenced, which is always going to be useful. Pets wise, let's talk about pets really quickly. You could take the undead raptor, but you need to go to Shadowlands to get like the undead taming, which is quite nice so they don't get sapped. But if you're using a undead raptor versus a Retribution Paladin, it can get stunned by Wake of Ashes, which kind of sucks. Personally, I am very lazy. I just took a raptor just for the sake of it. I actually love the MS effect. That's pretty much the reason why I take a raptor, and I love it being a cunning pet, so I do get Master's Call. So just with Savage Rend and Master's Call, I'm very happy. Yes, it can get sapped, but to be fair, not a lot of rogues are sapping the pets anyways. It can get polymorphed, I believe. It can be rooted, but all of this is like not really a problem if you're playing with the mend pet ability, which is going to remove magic effect anyways. I think it is always optimal to get like the undead raptor just for the sake of it, because sometimes you're facing a lot of RMPs that do know what they're doing, but I'm just a lazy guy, so if you want to be better than me, just try to get it. You again, I mean, I think it's like not really the most important. That is not going to make you not able to be climbing your spec. Again, like I said on the enhancement shaman video, I will be climbing the BM hunter, the arms warrior, and the enhancement shaman to 2.4k. It just takes a bit of time because I'm still like playing a lot of classes to be able to make videos about and to be actually known to talk about like the discussion videos like tier lists, for example. It gives me a lot of like POVs to actually be able to do those tier lists. So that's why I'm playing a lot of like those classes. Like I did like only 48 rounds on my social for BM Hunter, which like the first few rounds were terrible, but then I found like the build that was working for me. So I dropped pack leader, I went for dark ranger, and it became way better for me. Solo queue RPG is like, it's a huge success for me. Like I'm always winning on it, so I keep the dream living. Like 7 wins in a row, which is always going to be quite cool. I don't count the draws like a loss. It is just what it is. And I don't know if it's going to stop the winning. I might get a little lost because I talked about it now. But I actually enjoy my time on BM Hunter, and in twos I played a lot of like BM, but also played a lot of MM. Double MM was actually very fun and reminded me of the Shadowlands times pretty much, which is very cheesy, but you should try. It's very fun. And trees, I will be pushing it very soon with the, I think a KFC comp is the one I'm going to push on my BM Hunter. But again, I cannot push trees on every single character. I need to choose because again, I don't have that much time. I have a bit of time, but I don't have that much time. So I need to choose which one characters I want to actually push rating and which ones I want to push rating on social for solo RPGs. So again, thank you for watching this video. Really appreciate you. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that yet. It was quite a long guide, but I think I did give a lot of info. In general, I think BM Hunter is not that great, but is also not that bad if you have played BM Hunter before and you know how you CC, how you can CC and how you can actually deal damage. It can still perform. It is just not an MM Hunter. I think MM Hunter is just that much above, and a lot of people are just playing MM Hunter because it is just stronger and I would say more face roll, to be fair. BM Hunter it needs to land CC. If you're not landing CC, you're not going to like land kills. So you have to learn how to CC. I might make a video about it. It's not very complicated. Like having a stun guarantees you to have a trap afterwards. And you can like, you don't need to wait till like the end. You could just do Cameral Sting and then do a little go on him. It's going to panic and then you can just swap again. And you have like a big CC chain. Or you could do a trap first into a stun, into an easy Cameral Sting, which is going to have a great transition between the stun and then the silence. So again, those are things that you need to learn. Don't forget about freedom, for example. It's very important, but it helps a lot. Like it's really cool to be able to freedom your pet whenever you can, and you kind of need it. Like again, the roots are really like often and annoying, especially in the world within, but you have tools to get out of roots and to get your pets out of roots, so try to use it and it will help. Again, thank you for watching. Have a good day. Bye.